Hello and welcome to the PGE Narodowy Stadium in Warsaw, Poland, a beautiful setting for what is the global premiere of Copa City Studio, a brand new show dedicated to a new football product that's going to be featuring the top clubs in top cities in the world of football. My name is Pedro Pinto. Maybe you recognize me from some of the events that I've had the pleasure of hosting throughout my career, and I'm delighted to be here welcoming you to this series as we get to find out everything there is to know about this new football product. And we're going to unveil this mystery with the help of our two special guests, Dominik Ebebenge and Michal Dziwniel. Guys, welcome. Dominik, I'm going to start with you. We saw you in the trailer, a digital version of you anyway. Of course, you're known throughout the industry for being a little bit of a one-man army, taking care of football projects, logistics, club trips, ticketing. What is Copa City Studio?
Pedro, thank you for this very kind and warm introduction. It means a lot. Copa City is the first football tycoon. It's a game that offers something that has not been seen in the market before. We talk about football as a cultural and social phenomenon. We show everything that needs to happen for the football match to happen and kick off. That's why we're exploring themes that will be extremely interesting for the audience, but not necessarily very much known, not ever shown in video games before.
That's unique, right? I've never really heard it done before you guys did it.
Yes, at Triple Espresso, we decided to make a game that we have not played yet, to explore a topic that is interesting, that is engaging, but that has not been explored in video games yet.
All right, super cool. Let's talk to the mastermind behind this project. Michal, tell us exactly what you were thinking when you started developing this game and how it's special.
I think the most important part of this game is the decision making, due to the fact what Dominik just said, that this game is about completing the organization process of bringing the players to the football pitch. But it's not only about the players, it's also about the fans. So you have to keep them engaged in a whole process of bringing them to the city, keep them safe and bring them to the stadium to see the game. So actually this game is all about bringing to the table the hard organization decisions that are coming throughout this process.
That really sounds like something I've never seen. I mean, I've been addicted to football games all my life, loving this sport so much since being a kid. I've played from a player perspective, from a manager perspective, but this is really like a bird's eye view of everything that goes into organizing a big football game in real cities with real clubs.
Great point, Pedro, because we felt like two perspectives have been explored very much so. The perspective of the player and the perspective of the manager. But football is just such a voluminous topic that deserves another perspective to show that universe that goes around a football match.
And this is as real can get, because you go real cities. Warsaw is going to be part of it, obviously, with this amazing stadium, with public transport, with infrastructure, and all the challenges that also presents in real life.
Absolutely. Each map and each club will define and dictate the gameplay and the strategy the player needs to take to complete the task successfully.
Okay, so tell us about how different cities and different stadiums provide different challenges.
So first of all, when we are speaking about the clubs, we understand that this whole bunch of clubs has its own history, has its own habits. So we want to bring that to the table to the players to see when we are choosing particular club and another, we see the differences. So considering the fans, the clubs and the fans of these clubs, the main differences will be shown in the gameplay. When you see the perspective of them, the needs that you have to fulfill, each club will be different in terms of which needs would be more important. Considering the stadiums and the cities, each city has its own infrastructure that force you to bring another strategy of organizing the whole game in this particular map.
So how do you make sure that fans are having a great time in your city without causing any disruptions and being safe?
The main loop in the game is by adapting the city to the fans' needs, by building a temporary infrastructure that gives the fans opportunity to fulfill their needs. And following that, you also have to keep this infrastructure secured and keep all the fans feel safe in the city. So this is the dilemma, not to bring so much fun, but also to keep control under the safety in the city.
So a typical balancing act. And the player's role will be to stay in the circle, stay in the middle of the circle, stay in the saddle, while the game, just like the reality, tries to kick you out of it and surprises you with a lot of random things that can happen in a mass event. And that's something we observe every year in prestigious competitions all around the world.
We've mentioned clubs, but we haven't revealed who they are. So would you like to do the honors, Dominik? Because they're pretty heavy hitters.
I would love to, and I'm very proud that we get to work with the biggest and the most exciting football clubs in the whole world. We made sure that we find a selection that will keep the whole world engaged, and everybody will find they're somehow representative among that original group of clubs we've selected. So it's going to be Bayern Munich as the representative of the German market. It will be Arsenal as one of the biggest clubs in the Premier League, and we have a flavor for Latin America with Flamengo, the biggest club and the most exciting club in that region of the world. Later on, we're going to reveal more, but you can definitely be assured that they will be just as exciting.
Amazing. And all these clubs bring with them not only their culture, but also their fans. And these fans are going to have different profiles, different chants.
Absolutely. This is a very important part of our game. Each club represents different behaviors, different characteristics, different colors, chants, just a different experience from the player's point of view. And the combination of those clubs that we will be able to implement in the game will make it wide, will make it deep, and will make it exciting.
Especially considering the fact that behind the fact that we have a cultural differences, brand differences and stuff like that, there is a huge differences in the gameplay, because each club has its own characteristics and you have to bring another strategy to keep them engaged in the event.
We've talked about the city and what happens outside of the stadium, but this environment that we're in now, inside the stands, is also incredibly important, because not only do you have to decide who's sitting where, so there's no issues, you have to take care of the quality of the grass, you have the sponsorship obligations. That's a lot of detail.
And it all matters, it all affects your overall score. So it's not like you can ignore any of those aspects. We sometimes, discussing between ourselves, say that our game is somehow stadium-centric. A lot of the activities for the player happen inside of the stadium, but in order to be able to fulfill those activities, the city needs to be managed well, and economy needs to be generated to take care of what the stadium needs. That's why it's, I believe, a very nice intellectual puzzle that keeps that stadium, that venue, at the center of everything.
From the player's perspective, the stadium is the heart of the city. As long as Dominik said, the stadium-centric approach means that all the economy that is happening in the city has impact on the stadium.
What's clear as you're playing the game is you start seeing that every action has a reaction, and you've got consequences to everything that you do well or don't do so well.
Absolutely, and I think that again highlights the fact that this game is very close to the real-life experience of organizing something big. Every decision needs to be considering the consequences that it can entail, and in our game there's no decision that doesn't matter, and you are constantly bombarded as a player with the reality of having to make a choice, left, right, or do nothing. Everything will come back to you in case you decide to ignore the problems.
And when you're in gameplay, how do you see the game unfold, and what are the perspectives that you have to make those decisions?
First of all, the most important factor that gives you the impression that you are playing well is a fiesta level. When you are making the decisions, you see the consequences that are not only 0-1 decisions, but also has its own consequences in the later game. So when you are decided, for example, to build up more temporary police points, you will see the consequence of fans that are not happy to see police all the time.
And you see the city life unfold on a day-to-day basis leading up to kickoff?
Yes, you have to take into consideration the city population and how your decisions will impact them as well. You cannot ignore the population that lives in the city while you are doing your organizational actions.
Guys, it all sounds really exciting. When is the release date?
Yeah, we're really pumped for it because it's just around the corner. It's going to be 2025, so we are in the middle of making sure that we bring a perfect product to the market.
Guys, the clock is ticking, the countdown is on, and the energy is building to the big release date. Good luck with everything. I'm sure we're going to have an amazing game. Copa City is coming. I hope you're ready. And you can join the conversation on Discord. You can have the game on the wish list as well. It's coming. See you soon.